side to side. Who's ready to worship tonight? That's it. We need your help. Put your hands together. Here we go. All right, we sing this out.
I was at a loss until you found me. You gave me a home within your love. I was running blind until you showed me that life could be this good. I want all my friends to know about you. No matter what it takes, I'll never stop. Everything I am is for your glory. My life's forever yours. I have found wild love, can't control it. Hit me like a wildfire, set me in ocean. Nothing else compares, losing all my cares. Now that I have found wild love, wild, wild love. Nothing else compares, losing all my cares. Now that I have found wild love, wild, wild love. In your freedom, I don't even care what they will say. Living in your presence is the reason I'll never be the same. 'Cause I want all my friends to know about you. No matter what it takes, I'll never stop. Everything I am is for your glory. My life's forever yours. I have found wild love, can't control it. Take me like a wildfire, set me in motion. Nothing else compares, losing all my cares. Now that I have found wild love, wild, wild love. Nothing else compares, losing all my cares. Now that I have found wild love, wild, wild love. I have found wild love, can't control it. Hit me like a wildfire, set me in motion. Nothing else compares, losing all my cares. Now that I have found wild love, wild, wild love. Can't control it. Hit me like a wildfire, set me in motion. Nothing else compares, losing all my cares. Now that I have found wild love, wild, wild love. Nothing else compares, losing all my cares. Now that I have found wild love, wild, wild love.
God, we thank you for the opportunity to be in your presence tonight. God, we thank you for the unconditional love that you continue to meet us with even when we don't deserve it. God, I thank you that you chase after us even when we're not chasing after you. God, we love you and we lift up our worship to you tonight.
There's a simplicity, humility to the way you love me. In honesty, a purity. God, you make it easy. No special words or formulas could ever win you over. For your love is undeserved. Even when I can't see clearly, somehow you still make it easy. Your love's uncomplicated. You love me just the way I am. So I stand before you. I'm totally surrendered with open hands and open heart. Jesus, have your way in me. Jesus, have your way in my brokenness, my loneliness, and the secrets you see my deepest thoughts, my hidden wars. God, you see right through me, even when I'm overthinking. Somehow you still love me simply. Your love's uncomplicated. You love me just the way I am. So I stand before you. I'm totally surrendered with open hands and open heart. Jesus, have your way in me. Your way in me. I could sing over and over, I love you. It never grows old. How could I tell you enough that I love you? I love you, Lord. I could sing over and over, I love you. It never grows old. How could I tell you enough that I love you? I love you, Lord. I could sing over and over, I love you. It never grows old. How could I tell you enough that I love you? I love you, I could sing over and over, I love you. It never grows old. How could I tell you enough that I love you? I love you, Lord. I could sing over and over, I love you. It never grows old. How could I tell you enough that I love you? I love you, Lord.
Cause all we want is more of you. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. We just want more of you, Jesus. Come on, let's sing the bridge one more time. Let's sing this out.
I could sing over and over, I love you. It never grows old. How could I tell you enough that I love you? I love you,
One more
Lord.
time. His children sing tonight.
I could sing over
and over.
it never grows old.
thank you for your presence tonight, God. Thank you for your love, Jesus. We continue to pursue you tonight, Lord. Thank you for the message that you're going to bring. Help us to engage tonight, Father. Speak to our hearts, Lord. We love you so much. And all his children said, amen. Come on, and all his children said, amen, amen, amen. Yeah. Hey, what? So much fun worshiping with you tonight, as it always is. Hey, before you're seated, make sure you give somebody 4 fist bumps. Thank you, guys.
How you guys doing tonight? Man, you guys are taking a while to get seated. Goodness. More than 4 fist bumps? Okay, well, congratulations, Danny. You did a great job. All right, Assembly Youth, how are you guys doing tonight? You know, I always love Wednesdays. It's my favorite time. I definitely love you guys. I hope you guys know that, especially all the leaders here. Like, they always, they talk about you, we think about you, we pray about you guys, and we're just really happy to be here. But most importantly, we have some announcements for you guys tonight.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I'd like to honor all the Tigets in the room. Both JV and Varsity got 2nd place, and Danny Davis got 4th, so make sure you congratulate her if you see her.
Yes, good job, Tigets. Also, if you guys are planning on being here for the weekend service at 9 a.m., we have AM at 9 a.m. in the kids' chapel upstairs. So if you guys are interested in wanting to hang out with us, we would love to see you there at 9 a.m.
Yes, and this Saturday we have a girls' conference for all the girls in the room from 9 a.m. to 2, and it's $12. Make sure you're there. We have some amazing speakers, and you will not want to miss this.
Yes, fellas, we definitely need to do something too. So we'll work on that. We'll get back with you on that. But, oh, thank you, Danny. If you guys are interested in being baptized, so on the weekend of the 24th and 25th, we're going to be having Baptism Sunday here, and we would love to see you guys get baptized. So if you guys are interested in being baptized soon, you can look at the website, theassembly.org/baptism. So if you guys are recently been saved and you guys want to just have a public act of just showing your dedication to Christ, we would love to see you guys there. And honestly, it's just an honor to watch you guys grow in Christ. So we'd love to see you guys.
Yes, and then tonight we're starting a new series called Vitals, and we have a special speaker, our very own Pastor Justin Weaver. Yeah! All right, so make sure you got out your Bible, your notes, and after this bumper video, make sure you give him a round of applause as he comes up on the stage.
See ya!
What is up? A-I-Y. Hey, yeah. Hey, I'm going to be down here tonight because I'm really excited about the topic. Obviously, this is week 1 of Vitals, and Pastor Nate has asked me to speak. We're not doing horns down. I'm from Texas, so that row needs to be immediately dismissed. Thank you so much. So in case you don't know me, that really doesn't matter at the end of the day. We're going to pretend that you do, but I'll give you a little bit of my background. I was the youth pastor here from 2010 to 2015. And so some of you probably have older siblings, and I don't take the blame for however they've turned out, but I probably was their youth pastor if they were here. Had fun doing that. 2015, I transitioned out of that. Now I do outreach at the church. So basically, I take care of everything neighbors and nations. So bumper videos that you see on Sundays, all of that stuff is usually what I'm trying to make sure happens, among other things. Super excited to be able to share with you tonight. I started student ministry in San Antonio, and I continued it here. So I did student ministry for 8 years. And now I'm the old guy. I know there's this sense of when you see somebody my age that actually has facial hair, unlike your youth pastor who can't grow it yet. right? You automatically, you might have a preconceived idea about who I am, but let me just try and connect with you at some level. Growing up, we had AOL Instant Messenger, which means nothing to you, but it was our way to connect with one another. It was like text messaging before text messaging. Now, growing up, we didn't have text messaging. I know that makes me seem like a dinosaur. I'm only 36, so trust me, the world in 20 years for you will be much different than the reality you're living in. But it basically is the same thing as Snapchat. It was an opportunity, not so quick, but a way for you to message people who were sitting at their computer. You would have an away message if you weren't there. And so we would always leave that up on our computers, and late at night we would talk. We would have an opportunity to just connect with one another, our friends. It was the way that we social networked before social networking was social network. And especially in a small town, when you didn't have cell phones, all you had was landlines. If the phone rings, mom and dad hears it, you're in trouble, you can't sneak calls out. It was just a different world, and I get that. But here's what I want you to understand. Human nature is still human nature. When we talk about relationships, I believe that everyone was created for a relationship. I 100% believe that, and tonight I'm not going to be talking about, I know some of you are like, I can't wait to take notes on who I'm about to marry. Pastor Justin is about to give me a prophetic word. I'm not going to do that. But I'm going to talk about healthy relationships for you, and not between you and the opposite sex, because I don't want to start there. I don't think that that's a place that you want to start when we talk about relationships. I want to bring it in to just talk about, at your age, where you are, if you're a leader, where you are. I believe this will be beneficial to you too, because I think the most important thing in our life is to understand this concept of relationship. And so with that, right, you have an opportunity for instant gratification. It's gotten quicker. Human nature is still the same, right? We all have our ways that we try to connect with people. There's all kinds of things that need to happen. But here's what I want to say on just the opposite sex. I'm just going to I'm not going to give you any pointers, but here's what I do want you to know. Somebody should never ask something out of you that makes you uncomfortable. Nobody should ever have an expectation out of you or make you uncomfortable for that, especially at your age. Even at our age, that still shouldn't happen, but that's not relationship. If it's always, what can I get? What will you send me? Can I? Is this okay? If those questions are having to be asked right now, then it's already problematic. If there's an expectation of you to do something to stay in a relationship, it's problematic. And you need to evaluate that on that side, because I can tell you, I'm an expert at bad relationships of the opposite sex when I was a teenager. I've gotten a little bit better now. I've been married, coming up on, 14 years now? I got married as a baby, so it was awesome. And so I've learned a lot, but as a teenager, here's what happened. My mom and dad, their relationship was broken and fragmented. Because the relationship was broken and fragmented, they were so busy working on their own relationship that they kind of left me to do my own thing. So as a result of not getting attention from my mom and dad, right, I sought that out from other people. And because my mom and dad would tell me that they loved me, but they never showed me because they were so busy fighting and staying away, I thought that I could fulfill the void of relationship in my life with another person, and that was always the opposite sex. So I would go to any lengths. I would let people walk over me. I would do whatever it took to stay in a relationship because I thought that's what you did when you love somebody. And that's the wrong concept. And so some of you have some broken and fragmented ideas on that when it comes to the opposite sex. And if I could tell you anything from the things that I've experienced is it's not vital that you have a relationship with the opposite sex at your age. It's just not vital. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not saying, oh my God. I'm not saying any of those things. But what I'm saying is you can be completely healthy and independent of someone of the opposite sex, have good friends around you, and still enjoy a healthy your healthy teenage years. It can happen. There will be time for love, marriage, and baby carriage, all of those things as you get older. And as you get more responsibility, that's fine. But let me just if you're unhealthy, you will seek out affection, attention from the opposite sex, and it will always be a lopsided equation if you haven't settled in your heart the most important relationships, and that's with Jesus. Because you can be alone and not lonely. You can be alone and not lonely, and some of you just need to hear that. You're loved, you're cared for. There doesn't have to be an expectation for love. You were created in the image of God, And no matter what attention or affection you're getting from your parents or not getting, or any of those things, there's somebody who loves you that says you're enough, and you don't have to perform. You can be you, and that's okay. And if you get the right friends around you, you can still be healthy, even while everybody else is losing their mind in a drama fest called teen dating. Now, that's easier said than done, and I get that. But I want to point to Proverbs 13:20. I use the New Living Translation, and this is kind of where we're going to zone in. I've done my spiel about the opposite sex. You're going to do what you want to do. I get that. But then you're going to remember, hey, there was this red-bearded guy who said, hey, this is a bad idea. So I hope my face flashes in front of you like, danger, Will Robinson, danger. They're asking for something. I shouldn't have to do this. And if it does, I'm excited. You don't have to tell me I'm right. It's fine. You don't have to tell your parents they were right. That's fine. Just get away and get healthy. So here's Proverbs 13:20. Walk with the wise and become wise. Associate with fools and get into trouble. You got some wisdom in this room. You got some fools in this room. I'm going to let you determine who that is. Hopefully by the end of the night, you'll have some characteristics where you can be like, nah. You don't have to be like, nah, fool. I don't want to. Don't say that. But I need you to evaluate where you are and what it means for your life. Because I truly believe that relationships are one of the most vital things in your life. But not just relationships, healthy relationships are vital. Healthy relationships. What does that mean for me? Right? I kind of talked about it earlier, but I'm not going to talk about the opposite sex. I'm going to pull out my phone because I put my notes on here because I just wanted to get some high points. But here's the truth. Time is your most important commodity. Right now, you don't understand that because you're not losing your hair. You don't feel old. You don't feel out of touch. You feel like you've got the whole world in front of you. But let me tell you, no matter what age you are, because we don't know how many days we have left, the most important commodity that you have in this bank called life is time. And how you choose to spend that and invest that in and give attention and focus your time on will determine who you become. Because you are devoting your most precious resource, right, which is time, which you don't know how much you have, but you're investing that in someone else when we're talking about relationships. So the goal in a relationship, right, in any relationship, is that you would be better as a result of that relationship. Once again, we're not talking about opposite sex. We're talking about friends that are around you, right? You want people who are around you who will be with you through thick and thin, right? We all want those relationships around us that are healthy. Because time is your most important commodity, and however you spend that right now is going to start determining the habits, the hang-ups, what you have certain like things that you're drawn to as you're older, because who you're investing your time in on the relationship side will make a huge impact on where your future is. So it's vital, especially at this age, and I know you don't feel that way, but you're extremely impressionable. We just are, right? We are. A lot of times we see something and social media, and we think, oh, that's absolutely true. Yeah, let's do that, right? That's our generation. I'm at the back end of some of the generation, and some of you weren't even born when I even started being a student pastor. But we all want a social justice cause. We all have a cause to fight for, right? Like, oh, let's go, let's grab hold of something. What is the next thing, right? We all have that, but if we're not careful, if we don't have our own independent thought process, if we don't have good friends around us to say, hey, wait a second, right? We don't need to save the plastic trees. That's right. Who knows what's going to be the next thing that we try to get behind. And if we don't have our own independent thought, if we don't have friends around us, right, we're going to jump on the next bandwagon and be like, yeah! And then the next bandwagon, yeah! Right. I don't want you to live like that. You got to find people around you who challenge you to be better. So how do you do that? The second thing I would say is this: value everyone. As a kid, right? And I'm not saying kid your age, but even as a kid, as a teenager, if I saw somebody who was different than me, a lot of times I was like, yeah, no, they're extremely weird, right? I don't know. But there is a way, if you want to talk about wisdom and gaining wisdom, one of the ways that you can do that, you can value everyone. If we believe that God has created them, right? I value who you are. Now, on the flip side of that, listen to me. I don't have to like you. I can not like you, and still say that I know you're created in the image of God, I value you, I think you have a purpose, I think that God has things for you, but I don't like you. And so I'm not going to waste the next 5 years of my life having to deal with that. I can value you and not invest my life into you. And what I've learned is some of the people that I value, but I don't necessarily agree with their viewpoints, or I don't necessarily like who they are as a person, have taught me more about worldview and about thinking, trying to challenge my thinking, so I'm not just, here's where I'm at, right? This is how I was brought up. This is exactly, oh no, this is the zip code I was raised, right? There's a big world out there. And as an outreach pastor, I've had a chance to see a lot of different places, a lot of different cultures. And honestly, there's some cultures, I value it, but I don't like it. I don't like Indian food, right? I value it. I'll go out with my friend. I know Garrison's like, oh my gosh, right? But when we talk about people, right, I value that, but it's not my preference. I don't have to spend 5 years tasting something I don't like, right, to say, no, I still don't like it. I can start valuing other things and getting other viewpoints, and instead of saying, shut up, like, go away, right? I hope you die, right? I don't have to say any of that. Like, I value you, but here's the thing, I'm probably not going to answer my phone. And we don't have to attack the person. I don't have to look somebody in the eyes and say, look, I hate you, go away. I don't have to do that. But I can choose to live my life in such a way that I put healthy relationships in it, and I value what people are saying to some degree. I value people across all spectrums, and a lot of this is hard when you're young because you think old people are stupid, right? They have no style, they don't know, they're out of touch, they have no idea what's going on, right? I know you think all those things, right? That's normal. But at some point, right, I was actually in high school and I was in elementary. Like, I had my own situations, and while it wasn't the same and it wasn't as cool and I wasn't as fun and I wasn't as outgoing, right, whatever, I'm not as awesome as you, that's fine. I don't care. I value you, but I don't like you, right? So, like, while those things didn't happen, I have life experiences that I've gone through that I would hope that you don't have to. Even if I don't like you, I don't want you to go through bad places, because I value you. And here's the truth. Some of you don't have a bad life. You just have bad friends. So, and I know, right? I know that you're like, wait a second. You can go, now listen to me. Here's where I'm going to pull back to the truth, right? Proverbs 13, the wise walk with the wise, the foolish walk with the foolish. We can find whoever we want to sit in our corner and tell us whatever we want to hear. I can find 100 people to be my hype person. If I want to do something absolutely ridiculously stupid that I want to do, I can find at least 10 people who are like, do it, yeah, right? Like, yeah, it'll be fun, right? I can find 100,000 people who will do that. You know what I can't find? There's not always people who will look you in the eye and tell you, because I care about you, that's a bad decision and you shouldn't make it. Even if everybody else is making it. I want the friend that'll grab me by the arm and be like, listen, this will not be healthy for you. Because I care about you, this will not be healthy for you. And if you haven't had a friend that's grabbed hold of you in the last week and said, hey, we need to talk. Let's recalibrate, let's reorient, you're making some bad decisions. If all you have on your friends list or on your pictures on social media that are like, that's so cool, it's so great, you're awesome. When you post pictures you shouldn't. Or you do things that you shouldn't. If they're your cheerleaders instead of your supporters, right? Because there's a difference. There's a difference in between the people who will hype you up for stupid things because they like to laugh about it, and a supporter who says, because I care about you, I don't want you to have to go through that. And that would be my hope, that as you're in this room, you know that there's leaders who are here, not because they refuse to grow up, not that at all, but because they care about you. And if you really took the time to learn something about your leaders and you really thought, well, they don't dress like me, they don't talk, they're in here for a purpose. There's other places they could be, but because they value you and they want better for you, they show up on Wednesday night. And they've probably had life experiences that are similar to yours. I know nobody's been as cool as you all your life. I know. But listen to me. We've all gone through some sort of trauma or some sort of experience that we've went through that we've said, this is better than that. And what God is calling me to and what he has brought me through, right? All of those things testify to who he is. And I'm a little bit further down the road. Now, I'm not perfect just because I'm a pastor, right? People who are around me know. Me and Garrison have been, for 11 years, I've been completely open and honest with Garrison about a lot of things because we ate breakfast on Tuesdays. Garrison will tell you that I am definitely human. There's divinity in me somewhere, but there's a lot of humanity because we've walked out relationship for the last 11 years. There's been people in this room that have seen that have been a part of it because here's what I know. Garrison's in my circle. He's in my corner. Right? Even if I'm wrong, I know he supports me, but I also know he's going to have a conversation that says, you're an idiot. And I value that. And some of you haven't protected your circle. You have to protect your circle. You don't just let anybody in your circle. You don't just let anybody speak into your life. You don't just let anybody monopolize your time. You don't just let anybody know the deepest, darkest secrets that are going. You don't just let anybody do that because there are people who will capitalize on that, and especially of the opposite sex. If you tell them something, they will blackmail you or make you feel bad or try to twist it and use it against you. If your friend has tried to use something against you, you don't blackmail friends. You don't threaten friends. The moment you threaten me as a friend, we're not friends. You've drawn some battle lines. You want to threaten me as a friend, you're supposed to have my back. I don't need the drama. I will find something healthy. I'm pushing away. This is my circle, and here, I'm sorry, but you're not in it. I'll protect my circle. I'll protect my friends, and I will tell them, you are a flippin' idiot. But you're still my idiot. Right? He gets into a fight, we get into a fight. I'm protecting my circle, and some of you haven't understood that. You just let anybody in and you think everything they say is good. But if they've threatened you, if they've tried to blackmail you, listen, my mom was a world-class interrogator. I swear she was trained by the CIA, NSA. She had every credential, top level. She knew how to interrogate my friends. I was terrified to leave my friends around her. Because I knew she'd be sitting at the bar and Betty Weaver would be like, so, what you guys been up to? That's cool. What else did you do? Right? So I don't leave friends unprotected around my mom because I knew growing up what would happen. They'd be sitting there crying at the table going, I'm sorry, I told. But I had a friend named Chris Bell, who's been my friend since second grade. We're still friends. And my mom used to get so mad at Chris, and I loved it. Because Chris was in my corner. Man, he was in my corner. And when my mom would start asking those questions, he would just say, he's my friend, I can't say anything. And she would keep pushing, right? And he was like he's older than me, but he was like a little brother to me. And we grew up together from second grade, family, vacations, all of those things. But I'm telling you, to this day, Chris won't tell you any of my secrets. I was a teenager once, and hear me, when I wasn't serving Jesus and I was searching for affection and I lived a dysfunctional life. I told Lauren, that's my wife, I told her, I said, listen, how funny is it that I'm talking about relationships tonight? Because as a teenager, it was so dysfunctional. But as a result of dysfunction, right, I've learned to have some metrics in my life so I can quit wasting time because I spent way too much of it on the wrong people at an early age. And it took me years to unravel that to where I could actually be where God wanted me to be. and I had to disassociate from all of my friend group when I decided to follow Christ, because none of them were worth bringing along for that journey. And when you start to think of that, look, there's some different types of friends that you have, and I'm going to push through this. The first type of friend is a surface level friend. You just have a surface level friend, right? I see you, hey, what's up? You're Pastor Justin. Hey, hey, I see you, I know you, right? We're friends. I'm not going to share a Thanksgiving meal with you. We may talk about some fun stuff, like I casually know you. It's okay to have some surface level friends. Absolutely fine to have surface level friends. There's nothing wrong with that. Be friendly. Talk to people. Here's the great thing about surface level friends. It's really easy to share the gospel with people that are that, right? Because you're not eating Thanksgiving dinner with them, right? So like you casually meet somebody, you have a commonality. Hey, what's going on? Hey, man, I'm just headed to church. You can start building some of those bridges, and that's kind of where it starts, just at a surface level. Now, anybody can tell you, like when it comes to who I am and the person that I am, Lauren calls it the good old boy system. I grew up in a small town, so even when I'm driving on the road, I do the two-finger wave because that's just something that I do to like talk to people. I talk to people who are older than me. My dad was 75, so I call it the old guys on Sunday morning who are the ushers. Like I'm friends with all of them because it's great. Like those are some of my favorite people. Listen to me. You haven't discovered the secret and the value of people yet. But if you start to build relationships with people, and even if it's just surface level, but you keep circling back around to people because you care about them, to learn about them, you might be surprised at the value that they will add to your life. Because anybody on staff can tell you, if you need somebody that will do fireworks, Justin's your guy. If you need somebody that can build a spaceship, Justin's your guy, or he knows somebody. If you need somebody that can do the most random, wild things, and you ask me, I'll probably be like, I know a guy. And my wife is always like, what are you doing? And I'm like, what? She's like, how do you know all these people? I'm like, I just talk to people. I don't have anything to lose. I'm 36, I'm balding, what? I don't care. Right? So like, what does it matter? Maybe I can find value in something that we connect with, and maybe it's surface level friends, but here's the thing. A lot of you go with this initial thought that everybody hates me and nobody likes me. What if you flipped that and thought, everybody likes me, right? So if I talk to somebody, right, it's a blessing to them as much as it's a blessing to me, so let me just talk to somebody. What instead of having in our mind that they won't like me, I'm different, they look different, all those things, you just walk up and you're like, hey, like I'm Justin, I don't have a whole lot in common with a 75-year-old person, right? Wait, I do. I just have to find out the road that leads there. And you have wisdom. You have 40 more years of wisdom. My God, please let me learn 40 years in the next 10 minutes. So when I'm your age, right, I don't have to experience some of the things. You are a resource to me. Let me figure out how I can mine that resource. Right? And when I start filtering through what they're telling me, like they want to talk to me as much as I want to talk to them. And even younger, right? If there's somebody under me, they're not an inconvenience. It's an opportunity. And so if you start seeing people and you value everyone, right? And you see it as almost like a resource to say, God, I'm your resource. How can I talk to people? Use me, help me to connect with people, help me learn something, help me, right, to when I'm 75, right, to be a resource for those that are under me. Help me help someone. If you don't talk to people, you don't know their story, you don't know what's going on, you have no idea, you think you have no idea. This is MTV Cribs, right? Sorry, that's a way throwback for you. This is the life of, so anyway. With that, you never understand the value if you just look at somebody at the surface level and you make a judgment on who they are based on what you think about them without talking to them. It's unfair. It's unfair. I don't care if they're goth, preppy, cowboy. Listen to me, it does not matter. Humanity at its core, you will find a way to connect with someone if you value people. You believe that God created them, and if you've ran across them, then it is an opportunity. And you never know who your next best friend will be if you don't open your mouth. You protect your circle. We're going to start at surface, and then we're going to move on to seasonal friends. I know you won't like this, and this is going to be truth, and you're going to remember it someday when you're in your 40s, and you're like, oh my gosh, that bearded weirdo, he was right. And you don't have to call me and tell me, because I'm going to be way older by then, so it's fine. You probably won't even find me on Facebook at that point. Find me on MySpace. I'll still be there. Me and Tom are still friends. But we have seasonal friends, and to be honest with you, a lot of your friends that are in high school that are sitting beside you right now, they're probably going to be seasonal friends. There are people that you will graduate with from high school and you won't talk to for years. It doesn't mean it's a bad thing. They were there for a season, and that's fine. Doesn't mean you shouldn't invest in them. It doesn't mean any of those things. But you just have to have an understanding that when you get married, when life happens, when you move, when you find a job, all of those things, they were just there for a season, and God placed them there. They were a benefit to you. It was great. All of those things, it doesn't mean it was time wasted. None of those things, but it was there for a season. And there are certain seasons in your life when you really need people like that. It is amazing to me that when you're going through something, that God will send people who are going through some of the same situations, either in front of you, behind you, or about to go through that situation, and your paths will cross, and you'll be like, oh, hey, we're in this season together. And you will go through that. You will have college friends, and there will be college friends, and you will have a bunch of them, and then they will go to do their thing, and you will still be seasonal friends, and you can still connect to them, right? You'll see them. You may comment on things every once in a while. You may text them every 6 months. I still have friends that I graduated with. I don't really talk to anybody that I graduated with except for one person. And I went to a very small school, and he's been my friend since second grade, and he's more like family. We'll be brothers. We're brothers in every sense of the word. But here's what I know. You guys are investing everything that you have into surface level and seasonal friends sometimes. And you're living on how they make you feel, and they're unhealthy. They just are. And there are those rare times that you will find friends that are your forever friends. And when I say friends, I put it makes it plural, but it may not be multiple people. It may be one. You may have two or three. I'm friends with a lot of people. I will text people out of the blue from college, just randomly at 2 a.m. I'll be driving, I'll think about somebody. I wonder if this phone number still works. I'll send it. Full send, man. I don't care. People are like, that's so weird. I'm like, why? Why is that weird? It doesn't matter. What is he going to do? Not be my friend for the next 5 years? We haven't talked in 10. It's fine. Right? It doesn't matter, right? I'll send it out, and part of the time when God's laid them on my heart, it's for a reason, and we'll talk, we'll connect. We'll talk for a week, and then it'll be done, and that's fine. I'm not heartbroken. I'm not, oh, no, right? I don't do that. I'm fine. But there are those rare times when you have some forever friends. And maybe now you won't be able to do that. I'm going to put a little snippet on here. Listen, friends of the opposite sex, and this may get kickback, it doesn't ever work long term. It just doesn't. Somebody always wants more, expects more, hormones get crazy, and they think, like, it just happens of the opposite sex. And I can tell you, listen, I have a wife that I've had for 14 years. It would be very strange to me for her to be texting another guy, right? And be like, oh, he's my bestie. I'm like, wait, excuse me a second? Right? There's something, whoa, or the same, right? If I'm constantly texting somebody of the opposite sex, or like, I'm not, spoiler alert, because it's weird. I'm different, right? I'm not wired the same way as you females. If I know anything with having daughters in my house and being married and having 3 sisters and waking up in the morning, I'm nothing like a lot of you. And that's fine. It's not a bad thing. But there are guys even now that we're in small group together, and we're starting to do life and go through life. We're in the same season of life. Like, they're my friends. I can count on them, right? Do you have somebody that you could call in the middle of the night that wouldn't just hang up on you and be like, you'll be fine tomorrow? Like, not that you should do that, but if you're in distress, right? There's a couple of friends that I think you may have in your life. One's a vampire friend. They suck the life out of you. Like, when you see the text, you're like, oh, or you see something on social media, you're like, oh my gosh. Like, and then they're like, hey, how are you, bestie? And you're like, wait, yeah, I'm great, bestie, how are you? Stop, that's stupid. Stop wasting time on them. You don't have to say I hate you, but don't invest emotional energy. Don't invest in vampire friends. It's only going to end at the end, right? You will be the living dead because you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so tired of it, right? And you'll finally get to a point where you blow up or you explode. You don't even have to get there. Just be like, I don't even care. Look, just don't even respond. It's fine. And then they're going to do their drama fest. Oh my gosh, if you don't talk to me, right? Okay, well, you'll go find another person because that's what you are. You're a vampire. You're not sinking your fangs in me. I'm done. Peace. Some of you have ha friends. And when I say ha, it's like hot air friends. Always tell you, oh, I got you, I'm good, yeah, we're gonna go hang out, and then you call them and you're like, well, something came up, right? Hot air. You can't count on them. Why do you keep giving them an opportunity to stress you out, frustrate you? Just cut them loose. Like, walk over to the dock where their little dinghy is tied up, untie the rope, and be like, fare thee well, my friend, we're done. I don't need it. Life is difficult enough with good friends. But it's unbearable with bad friends. It's unbearable with bad friends because something's always worse, or they want to outdo you, or it's never enough, or even when things are going good, they can't be happy for you. They're like, but really, did you see what? No, I didn't. I don't care. I'm living my best life. You want to get in my circle? Let's go. Right? And when I talk about your circle, right, I'm talking about letting healthy people in your circle. If you are the strongest person inside this circle, you, my friend, are an idiot. I said it, I-D-I-O-T, if you want to tell your parents. I said you're dumb. If you think that you being the most responsible person in your circle of friends, you being the biggest Christ follower in your circle of friends is a good idea. If you don't have people to pull you forward, pull what's best out of you, to believe in you for the best. If you just have cheerleaders and people who are like, so what do you think? Well, what do you think? If you don't have people who can give you good, godly advice in your circle, then scratch out your circle, walk about 5 steps and go, all right, who's going to be in this new circle? Because as I just kind of draw this to a close, the thing that I want most for you is to prioritize healthy relationships. I want you to prioritize them. I want you to start thinking about your circle of friends, the people who always comment on your social media. I want you to think about the people who are texting you. I want you to think about where their life is right now. If it's in shambles, right? If they're falling apart all the time, here's what I'll tell you. You're probably the exact same person. Because you don't associate with people who are unlike you. You are not completely opposite of your circle of friends. You are the sum of your closest friends. And so here's the thing. If you gave me the 3 usernames on social media of your closest friends and I looked at what they were posting, what they were listening to, where they were going, I could probably learn a whole lot about you without ever knowing you. And you're like, well, I'm not them, but you are them. Because I don't enjoy talking to people who are completely opposite of me. And we're going to go back to that thought, right, where I said you're an idiot and you're dumb. If you really think that those people that are around you observing your life don't think that you're the exact same person as those friends you hang out with. If you think, well, they go out and party and I don't, but you're still hanging out with them, guess what? Everybody thinks you're them. And you can say, well, that's unfair, I can't believe. Well, then why are you wasting your most valuable commodity, which is time, on those type of people? And you're like, well, I'm missionary friendships. That's fine. You can win people to the Lord by having invitations and asking them without being at the exact same places and doing the exact same things. Don't give me that nonsense. You, my friend, are an IDIOT. I didn't say it, but hopefully all of you can spell. If you can't, then you're an IDIOT. Listen to me. Listen to me. It's funny. You laugh at that and you think, but here's what you're doing right now. You're investing in bad relationships. Whether it's with the opposite sex, whether it's with someone of the same in your circle of friends, if it's not healthy, you're not healthy. I'm just telling you, you're not. You don't get to stay around unhealthy people and you stay healthy. That's not how it works. Find some people in your circle and let them in that will challenge you to be better. That'll say, hey, well, how are you doing in your walk with God? Hey, how are things going? I saw what you were posting. You probably shouldn't be posting that. You are, never mind. We're in a serious moment, so we're not going to say that. But it's what I'm thinking every time I see you posting things and you're like, oh, you're thirsty for comments. You're thirsty for likes because you're unsatisfied with who God created you to be. You got good friends around you. They'll tell you, you don't have to do that. You don't have to post that. You don't have to. Right? You don't have to post something that draws attention. You don't have to do all that, right? You don't have to do that. I got you. How can I help you? What can I do to help get you through this? Man, I'm telling you, if you have all of those, I want you to just close your eyes right now. I want you to think of the last 3 people you texted, besides mom and dad. That's fine. They can be your friends. Let them in your circle. I'm not telling you to push them out. If you're accountable, if you're open and honest with them, that's incredible. I want my kids to be able to tell me everything. I'll love them to the day I die, even when they make bad decisions. But here's the thing. Look at your friends on social media. Look at what they're posting. Look at what you're liking. Think about what you're double tapping. Think about what you're scrolling through. If that's not healthy, you're not healthy. In these next few moments, I just want you to take some time for reflection. The worship team's going to sing. I'm not going to jump all in your business. I don't know. Your parents don't know. You know how you're living. You know what you're saying. You know what you're doing. You know what you're looking at. You know those things. And I don't want you to pretend. I don't want you to be like, oh yeah, I don't need that. I don't care. Listen to me. For the majority of you, we're surface level friends. I'm just trying to help you. I've got no skin in the game. You make bad decisions, you're going to own them. You're going to go on to your own life. I'm busy making my own decisions. You can go do whatever you want to do. I get it. But will it be healthy for you? Will you be satisfied? Will you be fulfilled? And I'm telling you, if you don't have healthy friends, it's vital that you have healthy relationships in your life, or you'll never get to where you want to be. Or if you do, you'll be all by yourself. You don't have a bad life. You may just have some bad friends. So I want to pray. The worship team is going to sing, and I want you can get out of your seat, you can go wherever you want to go, but I don't want you talking to your friends. Like, I want you to evaluate even the person sitting by you and go like, hey, wait a second, this is my circle, right? And then they can come up and be like, well, they erased me from your circle, Pastor Justin. I'll be like, I don't care, you were a bad friend, that's fine. I'm fine with that. I'll bear the responsibility of helping you understand that you're wasting time you shouldn't be wasting, even though you're young and you have plenty. Hear me, I love you, every single one of you. I devoted 8 years of my life to it. That's 25% of my life to trying to help teenagers. Did I do it? I don't know, but I tried. Because it matters. Where you are, what you're doing, it matters to me because I want you to be healthy adults. I want you to raise healthy families. I want you to contribute to society, and I believe that God has incredible plans for you. Even if we don't look alike, my hair's not the same color, I don't have hair, you do. All of those things don't matter, but hear me. I believe you are created in God's image. I believe you have purpose. I believe you can live on mission, that you can do incredible things. And I believe that great friends will help you do that. So I'm going to pray over you. The worship team's going to sing, and I want you just to evaluate where you are. God, I thank you right now for who you are. God, more than anything, you've called us into relationship. You've called us. You've drawn us close. You've shown us what it's like to be healthy. God, you lavish your love on us while we were yet sinners. You sent your son. He died for us because he loved us to draw us into a relationship that's not about how we perform. It's not about how we produce. God, it is about our hearts caring about you enough to live differently than everyone else. God, you've set us apart. You've spoken to our heart. God, you've drawn us into a relationship that's better than anything we could have experienced anywhere else. And God, I pray right now that you would speak to hearts, that you would speak to minds. God, that we would be unsettled in bad relationships. God, that you would help us to focus on what's important. God, that we wouldn't waste time that you blessed us with, God. You'd help us to get healthy, get our circle strong. God, help us to value people, prioritize healthy relationships. God, and move into the future that you have for us. God, we love you. You know what's best. You care. And God, I pray as we sing this song, you would speak to our hearts. God, help us to change because we deserve better. We need better. God, we need good relationships. God, I pray right now that you would help us be open and accountable. God, that you would help us to be healthy. And we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
we sing I carried a burden.
I've carried a burden for too long on my own. I wasn't created to bear it alone. I hear your invitation to let it all go. And I see it now, I'm laying it down, but I know that
fun to be with you guys tonight. Hey, thanks for letting me be a part of Assembly Youth. You guys are incredible. Man, as we just close out the night, you guys can go on to your next thing, but if you just process, man, what's God saying to me? What am I going to do about that? Because if you were in the room tonight, I feel like I know that God had something to say to you because he loved you. And even right now, if you've got to erase the circle and step back, he's more than enough for where you are right now. Rebuild your circle because he's going to send people into your life. So start rebuilding it. It's not too late. You have time, but defend your circle. And even tomorrow, if somebody walks up and you have to do this little number like this, and they're like, what are you talking about? You're like, I'm just reminding myself, right? You're a vampire. Ha, 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 ha. You're full of hot air. Ha, ha. Go away, right? Forget my number. I don't exist. Love you guys. Have a great rest of the night. Give it up for this worship team. They are awesome. Thank you. Have a great night.
Searching for